Alright, we are back with some more 2v2s in Starcraft 2. We are getting invited to a party, but we're going to cast a few games. Alright, let's do that. This is between Diorx and Foxer versus Ransom and Jedi on Roskalion LE. So, up here in the top left is Georgix. Diorgix. I hope he's Swedish. Otherwise, that's ridiculous. And Icy Foxer. What a reasonable name is Icy Foxer. And then down here in the bottom side, we have Jedi, a purple Protoss, and a teal Terran known as Ransom. Ransom is building barracks very near to his opponent's base. Jedi is building gateways very near to his opponent's base. The barracks have started. Let the games begin. We've been talking, Jedi and I, about adjusting this build a little bit, maybe working in some Marauders. I don't know how the economy would work out for that, because we're already pushing a lot. I could do 2 racks Marauder, and that might really work well with his Zealots and Cannons. So we'll see about that, but for now, it's this 3 racks barracks push plus the Zealots, which are there. Really reliant on this cannon getting up that started there. So we're already behind in terms of workers because of the way this build works. That means we want to control this ramp. You can put a Zealot on this hatchery. We need to keep these cannons. The cannons are the key. Cannons in the bunkers allow us to hold. We have the lowest tech units possible, which means any higher tech at all could seriously end our day, but they are okay. They're not even getting at any units as a Protoss, so this bunker getting up is great. It means we not only have aggression happening, but we also have vision on top of this ramp, as you see. So we're going to take out this cybernetics core, which would be a bigger deal if he had not already started this robotics. This team must have planned ahead of time. It's very difficult to get a robotics up this quickly, so I'm starting another bunker. The Zealots are taking down the pylons. We're trying to kill queens. His cannon is shooting at that hatchery. Speed is about to finish for Zerglings. And while we've done a significant amount of damage already, we need to do a little more damage. We're down in workers. That's a big deal. This is a tech advantage. So we need to kill a lot of workers. This amount of Marines is hard to deal with. That is 14 Marines. And these 14 Marines are looking to take down pylons. We don't want any more units to come out of that robotics facility. And we're about to get some probe damage done. Move and shoot happening out of these Marines. There's one more pylon down, so no more units coming out of there. This mortal is powerful, but not able to take on that many Marines. So we're going to stutter step towards him, and he's running away. If he's not going to fight, then we're just going to keep taking down his pylons. Meanwhile, these spines are taking out the bunkers, and that's no good. I'm going to move my Marines down here into this corner. That way they can fight efficiently, and we're taking down every Zergling. We really needed those cannons to get up. 2 more Marines. I didn't even notice that those had gotten over there. Taking down a few more probes. So the probe count is down to 14, and that's good. That means we are ahead with this, with our count of 23 and 16 against their 14 and 16. And we are going to keep them in their base a while longer. We need to keep them in their base for quite a while longer, as you see. We don't have expansions. We are trying to expand, but they have this tech advantage, I mean a slight tech advantage of the Immortal. These Queens are not a danger across the map as long as there is no Nidus, which there cannot be with only a hatchery. Just making a roach warren, planning some aggression. So we're trying to hold a space back here to keep them in their base as long as possible. Still, I believe, still producing Marines. Yes, still producing Marines, 3 at a time. Probably going to go up to a mech build. Even though I have 3 barracks, it's a big problem that they are across the map, and they know they are proxied by the very quick arrival that the Marines had at their front. So we do need to keep them in their base. Jedi did take his expansion. This command center is upgrading. So there are quite a few queens. There are some zerglings, and we're going to fast forward a little bit to get to another active period. So we're looking to move back and forth with our units. Again, these are very low-tech units, so excuse me, they have very weak capabilities this early in the game. So I did lift 2 barracks and bring them home. I sent this 3rd barracks on a scouting mission of death, especially with all of these queens. 5 queens hitting it. It will not be long for this world. But I need to have info about what they're doing, and it's certainly worth floating one of my barracks into their base, especially when I'm planning to build factory units. There's 3 factories up, making a 3rd command center. That Overlord's looking at me. That Overlord's looking at my partner Jedi. Partner Jedi is probably going to be making. Oh, yep, he already did make a Stargate. That's good. And again, we still have not let them out of their base, 1, and 2, we have not let them expand. They have to be concerned about us building nothing but units and then pushing in. And so, though we are not doing that, they don't know we're not doing that because they don't know much about what's going on the map. So here's enough from Zerg to push us out. Got my SCV still repairing. We're going to stutter step back. The Queens are very tanky units, so I don't want to fight them. Ravagers, while they're not great against Marines, I definitely don't want to fight Queens and Ravagers together. So my partner Jedi is taking out. Oh, that's a Colossus drop. How clever. Thankfully, the Phoenix will deal with this Warp Prism, and he would be trouble for me if he was here able to do damage over time, but that short amount of time is not a big problem for me. He did recall that Colossus home, and he's on 1 base still. He's on 1 base, getting near to mining out. That mineral patch will mine out soon. That one will mine out soon. About half his mineral patches will mine out soon, which is incredibly bad for him. Meanwhile, my 3rd command center is finishing. I have an SCV, just kind of laying down on the job there. But I am producing off of those 3 factories, making tanks, Hellions. Oh, actually, looks like I made a few Cyclones to deal with that air that I was seeing. My partner Jedi is making sure they don't take sneaky bases with his leftover Zealots. Very good use of Zealots there to just put them out on the map and keep track. Looks like, oh, a Dark Templar. That's a classic move off of a 1 base Protoss. Let's review the tech that he has here. He has a robotics facility. He has a robotics bay. He has, how many gateways? Okay, he has a forge. He has a Twilight Council. He has 2 gateways to build his Dark Templar off of. He has 2 Stargates that he is now on 1 base. No, he has expanded. Okay, he did expand. That's good. It would have been even more ridiculous for him to not have an expansion and be trying all this tech. So he's hoping that I can't get any scouting. Sorry, not scouting, but I can't detect his Dark Templar. And he is right at the moment. I do have 1 scan now. And then they are going for a Nidus along with this tech switch. So we're going to go after. We got that Dark Templar. Phoenix comes in. I don't know. Maybe the Marines killed that. Did one of you Marines kill that? Another Nidus worm. That Nidus worm is dead. nearly have a fourth factory, have 2 armories. Oh, waiting to upgrade. Vehicle weapons level 2, so it looks like I have 1-1. No, I have 1-0, so I'm still working on ship plating level 1. Okay. But we are quite ahead now. This doesn't matter at all that they are taking out those gateways across the map. Really, Jedi at this point is not reliant on his gateways for anything, especially since he's producing carriers along with a few Phoenix that he has. He has 6 Phoenix and a carrier. Foxer has 4 Phoenix. And so we have 150 supply, 160 now to their 130, and being on 3 bases with mech means my supply is going to rapidly increase. Probably finishing 5th factory, yep, and upgrades are going. And so mech is dangerous as supply increases. So I'm up to what is basically critical mass on tanks, maybe 2 or 3 more I could make, but you want to get around 8, and then that'll basically deal with most of what you might see on the ground as long as you have support. So you can get, there's 3 tanks that are going to come out, and then after that, support means Thors, especially off of the only factory mech that you have. If I had a starport, you would be thinking about Vikings or Liberators, other support. Now Foxer, did he out-Phoenix my partner? He did. He has out-Phoenix my partner, and I missed that. So that's bad for us. Meanwhile, that was probably a Hellion run by. So, yes, Jedi is down to 74 supply, so right around even. With their Protoss, their Zerg is up to 93. Again, my supply is climbing quickly, making Thors at this point, making 2-2, along with Blue Flame, the Infernal Pre-Igniter. Phoenix Colossus is the chosen build of this Protoss, along with 1 Disruptor and 1 Immortal. No gateway units to speak of. He likes those factory and starport units. Phoenix are very bad against carriers, especially if carriers are on top of some cannons to assist them. Up to 157 supply now. I expect to move out pretty soon. It makes sense for us to move out because of how badly we hurt and slowed, especially the Protoss player. So we can be pretty certain that our army is going to be better than theirs. In addition, this mech army, as I approach 200 supply, you want to start trading. You will trade efficiently as long as you don't get caught unsieged, you don't get like knurled by infestors, and your units get controlled by anybody else. Mech in high numbers, high supply is very cost effective. Now this army of Ravagers cannot engage. So then we're moving forward. Speaking of infestors, the infestors do neuroparasite my friend's carriers, but then I scan and we defeat Foxer and Djorks. And turns out one of these players was a Grandmaster many times over. And the other was at least a master player. And so that was a big deal for us to defeat a Grandmaster. It's highest rank that there is in the game. And so we felt good about that game there. Let's move on to the next. So here we're looking at Astute, Turbo Tunnel, a Terran player, and HLU Danks. Here, Double Terran is very vulnerable to early game rushes, so I believe you all have seen this build before. We are going to move across the map with 3 SCVs, and a probe. This is the same map as last time. We're going to proxy in practically the exact same spots as last time. And let's see how it turns out this time. I believe the way I've been operating is I produced an extra worker. Still refining exactly how to do this build the best. It's extremely early. Oh, I moved out quick there. So there's a Reaper out. We're going to burn down that supply depot. We're not going to let them get up a bunker. This guy pulls a lot of workers. This guy pulls a lot of workers too. Let's slow it down a little bit here and see where we stand right now. Oh yeah, this is already paid off. This was a 3-Rax Reaper plus, what is this? Is that a Marine Marauder push? Wow. Yeah, they surrounded that zealot with a little bit of Marine support. I'm going to get down here into my bunker. But that bunker is death for SCVs. I scan to see the high ground. Blue is down to 6 workers. Oh yeah, and red is down to 6 workers. Having some high ground vision is a big deal. That was one partner letting his other partner down there. Couldn't micro back those Reapers. So red is down to 5 workers, and blue is down to 6 workers. And we're still producing units. Now, Jedi's doing the dance with this Protoss player. I'm sorry, with that Terran player, with the Reaper player. So I go over here, stop the mining of that red player. I trade 3 Marines for pretty much nothing but to take his SCVs plus this mule off mining. Completely, probably worth it. Probably worth those 3 Marines dying, especially when I have Marines here in this bunker. I have 3 more Marines, or I have 2 more Marines plus an SCV there. Another scan. I believe I might have killed a Reaper there. The mining is not going well for them. Now the issue here for this team, they want to get some sort of offense on us, which ideally would be these Reapers who could sneak down this back alley there. But for him to leave would be signing over his partner to death, because you can't outproduce us. I have basically the same Marine production that he does, since he has a reactor. So these Reapers, he could split them into 2 groups of 3 and maybe hold that way. That's very difficult to hold attention. So what he's doing is he's staying home, and he is holding us off. They're at 9 and 11 workers. We're at 19 and 28. So there should be some transitions happening at home. There are. A couple of factories are down. The second command center. We've got, not an expansion yet. I'd say that Jedi will be starting one because we have been held here. I should scan again if I had one, and I do not, so I evacuate. I'm going to rely on this cannon. So we're in a similar situation to the previous game, in that we are trying to contain and slow the advance of these 2 players as long as possible. So he's going to come down, surround us. Here's one Reaper down. Alright, now, so at this point, at 6:05, our push has ended, and all our attention turns back home. I've already rallied some Marines back home to have any sort of defense, so seconds matter in this situation. These Hellions still have excuse me, 11 more seconds to come before they come out, and these Reapers are going to be in my base here before that 11 seconds. They'll probably right around when they pop out, which means going to be a couple of moments here where, yep, he can take out 1 SCV, 2, 3 SCVs. Now I can contest him, but seconds matter in this game, and you can see that there. I appreciate Jedi putting a cannon into my main. So now while I'm chasing, he's going to get 1 more SCV. He's going to get 1 more SCV. So I pull these Marines back in case he decides to cut back in. But that's the death of all of those Reapers. Here's the thing, though. Because... Ooh, that is some bad management of units there, but that happens. So now because he did do that damage to me, I'm at 26 workers now, and red is at 22. So it's amazing how quickly you can get back into a game. Blue is at 19 workers. He lost quite a few, and since he was trying to continue mining gas, that is, he was not able to get his SCV count back up as quickly as red. So red, that resulted in a quicker expansion. You can see this is not an orbital yet. And so red's economy is in better shape. He has twice the supply of blue, and we are right around the same, each of us, as red. So we're in a great position, myself and Jedi, because since I jumped up to factories, this is a definite tech advantage. Basically, if you think about me versus their Terrans, early on in TVT, it is all about the tank count, because you're dealing with ground units, and whoever has more tanks is going to be sounder in terms of defense. Jedi is on 2 Stargates producing Phoenix. It's got plenty of cannons, and so we feel good at this point in the game. They have to get their economy going. And we already have a pretty solid economy based off of our push. So they need to get tech. It looks like this is a very odd adjustment out of blue, going for solid Marauder. And where is he going? I don't know where. There's no reason to send those Marauders down that way, so I don't know why he did. Now here, my Hellions do run into Marauders. They all have the slow. Oh, that's a 4. That is a 4 medevac drop. Nothing but Marines out of red. We had gone across the map. We're going to cut back here. Overstemmed his Marines there. The Phoenix take care of the medevacs, and my Hellions with a little bit of support take care of the rest. So while that was a good move for them, got Jedi down to 30 workers, got me down to 28 workers, and they have a worker advantage now. They did not kill very much of our army, and so we knew we needed to go across the map and get damage. So right now the supply looks fairly similar. The problem is their supply is in workers, and our supply is in not just army units, it is in efficient army units. Phoenix are very fast. You basically can take the trades you want and then back off. Phoenix carrier means these tanks are very safe, and you remember what I said about early game, Terran versus Terran, he who has tanks rules. And so it's not ideal in any way, shape, or form to only have tanks as a Terran like I do, as I lost all those Hellions. But with this support, meaning that our opponents can't just rush in with a medevac drop, I can leapfrog my tanks like you see I'm doing. Unsieging half, moving them forward. Sieging the other half at all times. So this red Terran is going to rush in. 6 tanks, 8 tanks sieged. Means that's a dead red Terran. Even that siege tank with 14 kills. The hero siege tank does not die. And with that, looks like another win. Looks like it. Looks like red wants to fight a little bit longer. Like, he has a lot of production of Marines. That's working on 8 racks worth of production. He's got money. I see why he's staying for the moment. He's not going to get efficient trades. These carriers are just death, yes, for a Terran trying to do what he's trying to do right now. So there's another win. That's 2-0 for today. And we're going to move on. We'll get out of Roscallion. We'll move into Emerald City versus a random player PVZAS Evolution, which is okay. Where did? Oh wait. Well, this game doesn't have Jedi in it, so we won't count this towards our count. I forgot I played one random two. So let's just see how this game turns out. So Evolution is my partner, strangely enough. And down here we have Just X Swag Syndrome and Acer Larynge, popular Acer laryngitis cure, Acer Larynge. So double Zerg. Double Zerg in the previous patch before this last change was basically death, especially for Terran players like myself. Those Broodlords had a long range before, but that has since been changed. Thors are very, very good against Broodlords now, and so we are not too intimidated. Now, my partner in this game and I discussed going and macroing up as a double Terran, going for mech, seeing what these Zerg players wanted to do with us. So this is a Scouting Reaper out of Evolution. There's his quick third base. Wow, that is an aggressive third base. I'm going to be a little more careful myself. These Zergs both going for a quick third base. Here's my Reaper. He got 0 kills, I think, and he's dead, but that's okay because he's just a Scouting Reaper. There goes Evolution with his Reaper along with his new Hellion hit squad going after some damage. Does he find any? Trying to shoot at this queen. The roaches will drive him away. Let's check the worker count. 3139 to 3231. So we're a little ahead, given that for an orbital you can add 4 workers per orbital. So there's an orbital, there's an orbital. That one is becoming an orbital. We have some map control with the Hellion situation. Now I'm about to move out, I would say, with my Hellions as well. Now Evolution is about to get caught. Kind of a bad little spot with his Hellions, but that was a lot of Zerglings. That's a high commitment of Zerglings, along with the roaches from his partner. And so that you can buy map control as a Zerg, and they just did that by buying all those Zerglings. Now here's the thing about Zerglings. Since they were already a little bit bruised, I'm going to kill every one of them. And that leaves this Zerg with a choice. Do you want to spend a lot of money again to get map control back, or are you satisfied to let your opponents have that map control? So I'm going to grab back my Hellions. The roaches, if I had run into them, they would easily push me back. I believe I'll probably bring them home and repair them. Now, since we're both going up to mech, we will take our third bases as quickly as possible and play defensively. Got my armories started. My partner is on, so he's going mech with Starport, getting some Banshees out. In fact, he already has a Banshee doing some damage. Ooh, there are no Spore Crawlers. So what that means is that this is really bad for this Zerg. Not only are there 4 kills already on that Banshee, he's bringing back his workers for some reason. Does he have... Oh, yeah, there comes that Overseer. But that was 6 or 7 workers that went down, which brings blue down to 46 drones. Now, again, with Turtlemech, wow, that was an aggressive third base. This really paid off for my partner. He has a lot. He has a lot of workers right now. So we took a risk. A Ling Flood or a Roach bust would have really done damage to us, but given that I had early tanks and I kind of invested in some early defensive tech, that's not a terrible risk out of him, and it has certainly paid off here at the 7-minute mark for him to be 93 supply. You can see since I went for that earlier tech, I am behind him in supply, in workers. My workers will move up fairly quickly now that I also have third base, but you can see that he's capitalizing on that by taking a fourth base. Now, the Zergs can jump up to that worker count that they want really quickly, but it's good for us that this red Zerg is investing so heavily in roaches, not investing too heavily in saturating his bases. This is an unsaturated base, no gas, lacking 4 workers to fully saturate. I would assume these are saturated. That's a scan out of evolution. So I've got my tanks sieged up here at the third base. Yeah, evolution is doing a good job of really macroing up well, finishing his planetary fortress. Looks like he'll position some tanks there. And they don't want us to hold this many bases, which is wise on their part, but we'll see if we can hold this many bases. Double mech is pretty unique. There's a, looks like I probably got a few workers there. That was red. So he's at 70 now. We put up our sensor towers. Actually, looks like evolution put up both of those sensor towers. And we see there's a Zerg force here. Now, we both have enough supply at this point to contend with that force. He's got 4 tanks here, 5 tanks, along with some Hellions. That was this Nidus Worm. So I'm going to siege here. And I'm going to pretty quickly get overrun. And I remember at this point I was wondering where exactly my partner's army was. Pretty quickly I realized that he is here. But I didn't have good trades there. Those were bad trades for me. So I'm getting my tank count back up here. So is my partner, making 7 tanks at a time. And this is a ground force with no air support and very few Vipers. Vipers would be great to pull in expensive units like our Thors or our siege tanks. So since they back up, we're going to take out that Nidus Worm. We're going to carefully engage here, putting up turrets, keeping some tanks sieged. I say let's push, knowing that if I am anywhere near maxed, that probably my partner is very near maxed. They were trying to take out those rocks there, and they did, and so now I will probably walk down that ramp. Now, I'm trying to take a 4th base, and they kill it. But their army is up there out of position, and we're going to siege. Now, this is a really important engagement. I sieged all my tanks underneath a blinding cloud, but since they were out of position, that blinding cloud is going to wear off, and we are trading pretty well. We're losing. I'm not maxed, but they need to crush this army. 2-2, 3-2 out of my army, and we are ahead in supply overall. And mech is going to trade efficiently, and so as long as you don't attack with unsieged tanks like this, you should be fine. That was a bad engagement out of my partner. He backs up to my sieged tanks, and so we're trading efficiently again. But that was a bad engagement out of my partner. His macro is so good that it doesn't matter that much. Now, these Brood Lords are very bad for our army. I'm going to back up with everything that I have. But at this point, my partner has done an incredible job of macro. Let's see how much money he has. Yes, he has a lot of money. He's maxed out. He's Not quite got 3-3, but he will soon. And while our opponents are pushing, they are pushing not maxed. And as long as, again, we don't engage in an unsieged manner, and as long as we have some answer for these Broodlords, we'll be fine. And as you can see, we do have an answer for these Broodlords. 6 Thors out of my partner there in my army. I went home with my tail between my legs for a moment, but I'm coming back out now. And my partner held mostly on his own just then. And so I'm going to come down. I'm going to assist him. And every shot like that goes off, that's very expensive for Hydralisks to be taking shots from tanks like that. My partner has a couple of Thors in a tank over here. This is the Air Force out of... Ooh, that's a bad engagement. Yeah, Thors... now there's four Broodlords versus 10 Thors. 10 3-3 Thors. Versus Massive, dealing 47 damage at range 11 per shot. And their shots strike pretty quickly now. So, I'm up here trying to fend off Red. I'd say I lost track of Red's army there. But as long as my partner is careful and doesn't get sandwiched between 2 Zerg armies, we should be okay. So we're trying to find where their army is. One of us scanned there. My army is trying to be a little bit careful. This Thor force is so dangerous. Wow. 8, 6, 14 Thors that scan. I see the Broodlords up there. These Thors are even, not too bad against Hydras in this situation. There's so many of them with a little bit of tank support. He will trade efficiently. The upgrades are 0-0, 0-0 Broodlords. Yes, and that's... they were thinking the same thing I was. Am I going to fight with 0-0 Broodlords against double 3-3 Thors? No, I'm not. That was Acer Laringe. That was his thought. I'm not going to do that. And his partner is thinking, well, maybe I'll hang around for another minute, and his Broodlords are turning red, and they're dead. Okay, so that's a win. That's a double mech win out of myself and my random teammate in that game. Now we'll jump back into the series. That was a bonus game. We'll jump back into the series with Jedi and see what's happening in Efflorescence. Versus, look at these names, Bauhobowitz and Beast Nut. Spawning Boa. I thought it said spelling bee, but it said spawning Boa. Why didn't I realize that? So, spawning Boa and Bauhobowitz, a double Zerg team on whatever the name of this map is that I've forgotten already. Here I am in the top right side, kind of, and there's my purple Protoss friend Jedi in the top left-ish, kind of top right as well, off-center a little bit. So we're not going to try to proxy this game because double Zerg means plenty of overlords, which are likely to scout proxies. This is our usual proxy spot right here, and often that might be spotted by a lone drone looking around. So, excuse me. I believe our plan is to macro here. So that's going to mean Air Force out of Jedi plus Reaper Expand and then Mech out of myself. So we'll see what these two Zergs have planned. So that's, I believe, a hatch before pool for Bauhobowitz. And we've got, look like a pool before hatch from Spawning boa. So nothing interesting happening right now. They're making drones. We're making workers. We get a few little friends, a few little initial units to keep us alive. Probably a Reaper. He got in and killed 2 Zerglings over here. Nothing exciting. There's my Marine trying to get an Overlord kill. He's getting attacked by Zerglings himself, but now his friend Joe the Reaper coming to avenge him. Yes, 4 kills for Joe the Reaper. Joe is boss. Balhobowitz. He's sad about the deaths of Zerglings. Just kidding. He doesn't care about his Zerglings. He's a barbarian. He doesn't care about his Zerglings at all. So he makes a few more. He's going to take a little bit of map control. Here I've got a few Hellions out. Going to take back my own map control. How do you like that, Balhobowitz? So we're going to rush in. Going to kill a few there. A few Zerglings. Going to kill a few more Zerglings if I can. Looks like Balhobowitz got very excited and just held down the Z button. So now he has 21 Zerglings that he needs to do something with. My safety tank here is going to be an important unit because it can do damage to a lot of Zerglings over a very short time, as you see. And softening up those Zerglings is a big deal against the Hellions because that means those Hellion shots are going to get a lot more damage. Meanwhile, Jedi's going to go around Overlord hunting. Let's just watch Jedi's view for a minute. That'll be fun. He's looking at his base. He's making his, what's that called? He's making his fleet beacon. Let's look at him again. He's losing a Phoenix. He's looking at his opponent's base. He spots double Spire. He's making a lot of Phoenix. He's making Phoenix range. He's taking his 3rd base. I am just expanding, making units. These, oh yep, those Spires are for those Corruptors because you would not want to make Mutalisks. Those are really bad against Phoenix, and especially when my partner has 9 Phoenix. And, oh, he has 8 Phoenix now. No, he has 10. He's still making Phoenix. Trading. And in low numbers, Phoenix will just kill those units. They'll kill those Corruptors quickly. Corruptors have 2 armor naturally, so they're pretty good against a lot of different kinds of units. But that Phoenix, so Phoenix do 6 damage, so -2. That means that they're 2 attacks, so 12 damage. How does it count? Now they have armor 3, so they do. Phoenix do some damage. Turns out versus Corruptors, not great. Especially in these larger numbers. Basically, Jedi's not going to want him to engage anymore because we're looking at 12 Corruptors versus 11 Phoenix. But now we've got a couple of carriers out. Lose my pretty much non-microed Hellions there, but I'm sending some more out on the map because I'm also a barbarian. I don't care if they die. I see all of these Zerglings. I see all those Banelings. I want to kill those very much. Let me see if I can draw those into my tank fire. Look at that Adept of Jedi drawing all those Zerglings all the way across the map. So this is an odd build out of this blue Zerg. Probably he wants all of these Corruptors to be turned into Broodlords sooner or later. And here I'm moving out with my Hellions and running back. They're taking some damage from the tanks. These Corruptors do not want to engage against Thors. So I'm up to 180 supply. And this pretty turtley slow build that I've done, but I now have quite a few workers. I should have taken a 4th base before now, but I'm sure I'll start that soon. There it is. And I'm nearly maxed, and so that's great for me. He's going to attack into me and then turn around and run away because I have a lot of tanks, a lot of Thors. They're all 2/2, and I have Hellions. So basically, this ground force out of Balhobowitz, I have a unit that counters every unit. Hellions counter the Zerglings, and Thors and tanks basically counter the Ultras, especially Thors. Now, this is a big problem. I believe my partner Jedi just lost a couple of carriers because this many corruptors will practically one-shot carriers. And that's bad. But if I come over with all of these Thors, that'll create a lot of trouble. I lost a lot of Hellions there, but that's okay. I have enough mech now that we'll deal with all of those Zerglings. And then, yes, that was a very bad engagement for them, as you can see by the supply. I am at 187 supply, and they are collectively at about 270. So not even counting my partner's supply of 135. We're just ahead. We're ahead 30 supply, and their units are not going to trade well. They don't have any units that can deal with my Thors, nor the tanks, really. At this point, it looks like what they were hoping was to get to Broodlords, I guess, considerably quicker than they did. And not getting there and us pushing like this, taking out the third base, means that he does not have a lot of money coming in. Now he does have a base over here that we need to deal with. This base, we don't want him to get saturated either. So what we do here is I'm going to post up. My units are very slow. My partner Jedi is going to go over and take care of this base. Not get too far away from me while I just hold him back from retaking this base. So Jedi did take some damage there. He's down to 140 supply. He has 4 carriers. I don't know how many. He's producing off of 3 starports, 4 starports now. He put a stasis ward in front of me. That's nice. And so he can take out those bases. And he's going to move over and kill off some drones. And I would say he will cut back. Looks like a big counterattack is happening out of this Red Zerg. Absolutely best thing he could have done. These are these units are a mineral sink. They cost nothing but minerals. They are 3/3. They destroy buildings and infrastructure really quickly, and that's what they're doing right now, creating all kinds of trouble for Jedi. In fact, so much trouble that he's going to come all the way home. And I'm left down here. Now, this is a dream for a Zerg army that could engage us, for 2 Zerg armies that could engage us. But these are not those armies. This Zerg is down to 76 supply, which is mostly workers. He's got a few Broodlords. I just scanned those, and I might have killed one, but these being down to half health like this, if he engaged, they would die instantly to this many Thors. And so that means his partner needs to engage, and his partner doesn't have Broodlord tech. He has all these corruptors. He's hoping, I'm sure, to make one of these spires a greater spire. This is another run by out of the Zerg player, and it gets some damage done, but they're not getting enough damage done. Jedi left 1 carrier here to finish off this base over here. He did a good job, this blue player, of going ahead and expanding. Now, I get a little nervous by myself, so I'm cutting back a little bit, which allows me to take out a lot of those Banelings. This poor Thor, we barely knew him. We barely knew that Thor. But now, we are nearly all together again. And we're going to move on the Red Zerg. The Blue Zerg got a few more Broodlords out. But this many Thors with the range, there's no reason to siege. Sieging will only damage my units more. So we're just kind of moving and shooting here. And this guy's going to try to engage with those 6 Broodlords. He does have good upgrades, but still yet, you can't deal with this many Thors with that many Broodlords. You just can't. So we're going to take out that base. We have a decision here, which is, do we want to just go on and take out... Wow, that's a lot of resources. 6,000 minerals, 1,000 gas. So we could have gone to take out their bases. That's 10 Broodlords. That's respectable. The carriers alone are a big problem. I believe Jedi was focusing down these Broodlords. which is incredible. That's great for him to do that. It obviously is going to cost him most of his carries, but if you see now, all the Broodlords are dead, and I still have 12 Thors, and that means they have no chance of dealing with those whatsoever. And even, I mean, look, I have 6,000, 2,000, but even with the resources that he had, they're out. So that's 3-0 for us thus far in this session. We're playing well. The games are going our way. Really, the proxy is a lot about the scouting, and the scouting didn't happen, so that went well for us. And so we will move on. Now, on Roscallion, once again, these guys have the same name. Their names are Right Ball and Right Ball. So, there you go. This is the Protoss player. This is the other Protoss player. They say good luck, have fun. I say good luck, good luck. This is a familiar build. Let's watch from my point of view for a moment. I don't think I made any workers this game. At the beginning, I just go ahead and get my barracks up as quickly as possible. There's one. There's two. Do I wait? Or do I make another SCV? Do I wait? Do I wait? I'm waiting. I make the third barracks. So now I'm probably going to make some SCVs. I do. And our build will commence very soon. Meanwhile, let's find out what they're doing. This is 2 gate plus another 2 gate. It's a pretty good opening blindly against what we're doing. You want to have some units. I mean, basically, you can think of it like this. This is a 2 gate out of my partner, so one of them is already holding me back there. If they are rushing out stalkers, as they are, that means we need to get our bunkers and cannons up as soon as possible. We're pretty aggressive with what we're doing here, but those 2 stalkers showing up right now means we really should. It was very difficult for us to communicate at this point, but we needed to focus all our attention on keeping this stalker man back, because as you can see, he is just taking down our units left and right. Now, we need to kill somebody's workers. Again, these 2 stalkers over here are being microed. These 2 stalkers over here don't even hardly have to be microed because I wasn't microing my Marines. They've killed all of my SCVs that were across the map, so I'm not getting up this bunker anymore. My partner, Jedi, is here trying to get down that stalker. There's a pylon getting taken down. Jedi's cannons are up. His zealots are dead. I thought I called for another SCV to come across the map. Did I not? Yeah, I did. There, he just finished that bunker. The game's already going really badly for us. The thing about what we are doing is that it's a very coin flippy build. If they really go for a macro-oriented build, it could be just a straight out win for us. Their build here is what you could call base aggressive, baseline aggressive. It's not so aggressive that it's an all-in by any means. It's conservative aggression, double 2 gate. It's meaningful aggression for sure. And what it did was it gave them this flexibility to go ahead and tech up into a robotics facility out of him, robotics facility out of him, because they know all they have to do. They've already held pretty well, and all they have to do really is trade efficiently with us consistently. The stalkers could probably trade consistently with us. Now, if we threw a curveball, got a tank behind my bunkers or behind these photon cannons, that would be a big deal. Had some other tech switch in line. So what they're doing is basically they are playing very consistently middle of the road, this immortal, this early. It's really powerful, especially with this many stalkers on just this guy, not to mention that Right Ball over here has this many stalkers. We're not going to trade efficiently here. This is one of those games where sometimes we get an immediate win out of our build. It could be said that we practically got an immediate loss out of our build, given the build that they went with this expansion was down. I think this has been down the whole time, and maybe we just didn't notice. So they're going to walk across the map. We are trying. I'm trying to get up the factories. Stalkers are pretty fast, all on their own. So they're going to get here and be doing damage. My partner Jedi's trying to get up cannons here. But the Stalkers are here across the map before the cannons even get up. And we, as they say in the business, are dead. So that's that game. That's a tough one. You see, that's a great example of how the build that we do can be easily countered, even by, not even, it's not as if they went for some sort of all-in, like I said. It's just that they had middle-of-the-road aggression, strong aggression, you could say, and that countered our very, very, like, hyper-aggression. Their conservative aggression countered our hyper-aggression because they had a tech advantage. Since they stayed at home, they get a little bit of a defensive advantage, a little bit of a macro advantage, and they teched up just kind of like to tier 1.5 is what you can call a stalker, and tier 1.5 is able to trade very efficiently against our units. So, given that that build just failed on us, we're going to do a little different build. Here it's probably macro oriented. Yeah, I believe is what we did this game. Down here in the bottom, we have extra 1 resin and barcode, barcode, barcode. That's a forge. Oh no, barcode, barcode. That's a forge. That means we're getting cannon rushed. Oh, so what do you do? What do you do? Probably, if he knew he's getting cannon rushed here, he has enough money to expand. Putting an expansion down right now would have been the move out of Jedi. There's a Reaper from me. Try to slow down what my opponent's trying to do. I'm going after that probe, and I get it, but I believe this. Is that in range of the Nexus? If that one's not, that photon cannon there is. So Jedi's going to get hurt pretty badly. He's trying to get his cyber core up. And strangely enough, those are not in range of the Nexus, so Jedi did get an expansion up. That's good. I'm going to get my safety factory. Got a bunker in case their partner had aggression planned with this. Now, this is a really good asymmetrical build out of this team. Right here, what? That was an expansion. And he's going to go, this turn's going to go straight up to a tank drop. 3 gases. Conservative tank drop. So here's what we're doing. I am getting rid of these photon cannons. What this allows him to know, though, is what units I have and pretty much what I'm doing with them. So I'm getting rid of these cannons. And this is going to be huge because the timing on this is a big deal. He's going to move out with these drops. And I'm still plugging away at pylons, which it's one of those weird deals that I shouldn't have been doing. Now this is good that I have this here. I send these Hellions down, and this game is all over the place. Because see, these Hellions are getting damage done, and that's great. But that means I react a little bit slow to pull away these workers. I go ahead and go down here, and I'm microing these Hellions. But the biggest problem is I do not lift my orbital. I'm sending these workers because I need to save that orbital, and I do not save it. That's really bad. That is extremely bad. So not only am I very behind in the worker count. Let's just do a count of me versus their purple Terran. So this is 38 workers getting some more damage done with Hellions, which is great. But not good enough. I can't get this tank down in order to get over to these workers. So he's at 38 plus 4 plus 4. So that's 42, 46. He just now is taking another orbital. So when that finishes, that alone will be 50 workers to my 24. Which means I am in horrible shape. We haven't even cleared out this space yet. All I had was a couple of tanks, 3 or 4 tanks. I I had Hellions. I did some damage to their Protoss, which brought him back down to where he's even with Jedi. So I evened out the damage that their Protoss did to our Protoss. But the damage their Terran did to me meant we're in bad shape. So this game looks really bad for us, and proof that it's even worse for us is that there's a Phoenix War going on, and I won't call that a conservative cannon rush out of our barcode player here, but it looked like what it did was he was able to go ahead and expand before Jedi was and get his economy up and going so that he has more air units. Jedi did not know this until just now. Now Jedi has a terrible decision to engage or not to engage. Probably should have just backed up and recalled immediately and taken the shots from the Phoenix if they engaged, because these Void Rays cannot retreat. They are so slow. Let's just check. Move speed 3.5 versus 5.95. So that's a dead Void Ray. We're in just a terrible situation here. Jedi, I guess he felt under duress, so he took this very out-of-the-way base. And, you know, I would say he expected to have air control so he could defend it, but he doesn't have air control. And I certainly don't have air control because my mech is designed to cover ground. So this throws our game into a really, really bad position. And let's check the army supply. Their Terran's up to 113 supply. I'm at 68. I must have been losing something. Probably was losing ground to some of these. Oh, we got Phoenix range. That's what you call insult to injury, my friends. Wow. Active forces 0 out of my partner Jedi. I try to help. I'm putting down some turrets here and there, but he's dead. We have no hope. There's a big drop. We're dead. It's over. So, there's 2-2 for us. That was a tough game. That was one of those weird asymmetrical games where your opponents do one thing that really messes you up. You're trying to deal with it, and then they do another thing that messes you up even more. So, let's see what happens in the next game. Cat Smasher. What a sad name. And Ack. Cat Smasher and Ack. Alright. So we're looking at Red Protoss, Cat Smasher over here on the left side in the middle, and Ack, the blue Terran in the top left. We've got our spot on this map as well. Right up here in this corner, Jedi is going to proxy. Now, I do not proxy typically on this map. It's hard to hide a lot of units. A lot of buildings on this map. So, I will be going with a Reaper build. This map is pretty good for Reapers. There's all kinds of space to jump up on cliffs. And you like that if you're a Reaper guy. Jedi has a gas stolen. Little do they know, he's not planning to use much gas for a little while. So, I've got 2 Rax Reapers started. Looks like I'm going to go ahead and expand off of these 2 Rax Reapers. Jedi already has a pylon. Now he's going to start another pylon. The Zealots have begun their work. Axe coming back. My Reapers are shooting his Reapers. I tried to bomb his Reaper. It didn't work. I'm going after that Reaper. I want that Reaper, but I don't want to face that Stalker. So I cut back. I want that Reaper. I'm going after that Reaper. I'm running up the ramp. We're killing that Stalker. I want that Reaper. That Reaper dies to my Reapers. Let's slow down here a little bit and find out which Reaper killed him. It's this one. That's the Hero Reaper. That's Jack the Reaper right there. And this is the kind of game you want to see if you are us. This cannon is up. Both of these cannons are doing damage. Patrick tanked that Widowmine shot with his zealots, but I don't think I've lost 0 Reapers. And while these shield batteries are keeping their units alive, we're trading efficiently. I think they're not close enough to face these cannons, especially with a little bit of support from zealots, which is what we have here. Jedi has another set of cannons building down there, while I'm keeping the. Ooh, that's again. He took those shots, so I've only lost 1 Reaper. You can see how it's piling up for them. The resources lost. These shield batteries are drained of energy because so much damage has been done, and so we're able to push in. Meanwhile, look at all these pylons and photon cannons down here, taking out that Widowmine, taking out those Marines, throwing down plenty of Reaper bombs. That's going to be a dead stalker here in a moment. There it is. There's a Hellion. For me, all I have to do is play conservatively. There's my second Reaper lost. They have lost so much. And Cat Smasher's had enough. Once again, the Zealots are the heroes and tanking those shots from the Widowmine so that my Reapers can come up and get the kills. The glory is for the Reapers. The Zealots and the Photon Cannons are tanking all the damage. And with that, we get what is our 3rd win? 4th win. I think it's our 3rd win. Let's see, maybe I'll remember if I look at. Yeah, we did not beat Resin and Barcode. We did not beat Right Ball. Oh yeah, we did beat Val Hobowitz and Spawning Boa. So that's 4. That was the game. That was the series right there. So that's 4 and 2. But let's carry on. Only just a few more games. Let's see how many. 1, 2. Just 3 more games left here. Let's see what we get out of them. Here we have H Copgood, and Star Rules. Star Rules. Here on this beautiful desert map. Here we are on the right side is H Copgood and Star Rules. Looks like we are probably going to do the same build. We're on opposite sides, so looks a little different, but so here H Copgood is going to, looks like proxy 1 barracks, proxy 2 barracks. Now I'm curious, I think you can see that from the Zelnaga Tower. Obviously we don't have any of our units going across the map right now. So that's a 2-Rax Reaper opening. And I'm doing a 2-Rax Reaper opening. So that'll be Reaper Wars. His problem is these chrono boosting zealots. So that's going to mean that you need to watch units on both sides of the map, which is difficult. And I spotted this myself happening in Jedi's base, so I come down here with my Reaper. And since I was not proxying, I built my barracks a little earlier, so I got that before he could get it up. Now I have my Reaper over here, and I catch the first shot on his Reaper, which means his Reaper is dead. Now he has another Reaper coming in, but again, since I got the first shot on that bunker, and then I got the first shot on the Reaper, it means his bunker is now canceled. He's running away with his Reapers. And let's see what's happening. Looks like the Zealots have chased off all of the SCVs down here, and they're going to be fighting SCVs. 3 Zealots. 3 Zealots fighting SCVs is a dream. 3 Zealots fighting another Zealot is a dream. 3 Zealots fighting a Reaper that won't move is a dream. So these Zealots are the happiest Zealots you've ever seen in your entire life. And there's a cannon in your mineral line too. I don't know if you saw that till just now. In fact, let's just find out what the thoughts were of H Copgood. Let's just see how his life has gone. This is the point where he noticed that he's losing the Reaper War. he had taken a moment to run all of his SCVs away, and now he's going to... I don't know why he was bringing them all back up, like what had changed in his life that he thought bringing them all back up was good. So then he fights for a moment. He's like, I don't want to fight. I definitely don't want to do that. So then he puts them to mining, and they're going to mine for about 3 seconds before they go, oh, wait, this was a terrible idea. Let's get out of here, guys. Why were we going to mine at our home base? Let's lift our base. Let's go to our natural. Now, there are zealots chasing his SCVs. I have brought 3 Reapers over to throw bombs down on its SCVs. His SCVs are having a really bad day. His SCVs are having like their worst day. Speaking of his SCVs, he has 3 of them left, and those guys are scared, and those guys should be scared because their leader has left, and still yet the zealots go and kill the last 3 SCVs for good measure, and that's the end of that game. So there's a win for us in 3 minutes and 42 seconds. That's kind of the dream there on the build that we did. So they did some aggression, but we out-microed against their aggression and then just crushed them. So let's see what we get here. On Efflorescence against a double Terran team named Alleviate and Pulse. Alleviate and Pulse. I anticipate we are going to do the Reaper build plus the proxy again. I can't remember what we did here. Let's watch from Jedi's point of view. I can't remember what he did. So he's going... He did not get spotted from the looks of things there, even though he should have been. He is going to proxy. It's going to be the proxy plus the Reapers out of me. So there's a couple of barracks down. I believe he was scouted. Yep, he was scouted by Pulse. Pulse is looking for the expansions. He's not finding them, so he's got to know that something's up. I do not want to let him in my base just because I don't want him to have complete information on what I'm doing. Jedi's gateways are finishing. He puts a photon cannon down there just to keep any Reaperage away. And he's chrono boosting his zealots out. So, got a couple of barracks. I've got 1 Reaper out. They have a Reaper out. So while blue is getting pushed his front and he's holding, red does send 1 Reaper, but I caught that Reaper myself. I have 3 Reapers converging on him. These zealots are doing a great job moving up the ramp, causing a little trouble when they get focused on, backing up, gaining their shields back. Now we missed something. I'll tell you what happened over here. Let's watch. It was a big time bungle on my part. I was having a thought process when I was chasing this Reaper across the map that I'm probably going to have to chase him all the way back to his base. And I literally thought, well, when I get to his base, it would be pretty high risk to just jump up in after him. But then my next thought was, well, usually people aren't ready for that, though. So I'll just go ahead and jump. And I jumped right into 3 Marines along with their Reaper friend and lost 3 of my 4 Reapers. And this Reaper lives to tell the tale, runs past a bunker that doesn't have any units in it, thankfully, and is so happy to see these photon cannons. Meanwhile, Jedi over here has kept his zealots alive and has broken the front. He has broken the front. This guy did a dumb move and started building an add-on off of his barracks. He figured that the zealot aggression was over with and that his bunker was almost finished at just the right time. This was just a lucky catch by Jedi, but it was a lucky catch based upon his skill in keeping his zealots alive. Look at this zealot. He's already taken so much damage, but then he got his shields back. So now, this Pulse character is in a terrible position. You can see his buddy Alleviate wants to help him, but 2 cannons in his face are going to send him back up. And that's the only move he has. He could have maybe gotten 1 or 2 units past, but losing all of that for almost nothing, I mean, in a lot of ways, this is the game-ending move, as Pulse agrees with, because we busted into his base, and with that, even though I would guess, Alleviate was the supply leader. Their team has 40 supply. Our team has 70 supply. So that's it. Another win for us. And the final game of the night. Will we end on a win? That's the question. Final game of the night is here on Roskalion. We're going to face a Zerg player called Kalawa, and Timmy Fish. So down here in the bottom right, he's a red Terran Ransom. Beside him is a blue Protoss Jedi. GLHF, Timmy Fish says. Timmy Fish is up here as a purple Terran, and he's got a friend, Kalawa, who is a teal Zerg, and he says bonne chance. I don't know what that means, but it sounds foreign. So he says that, and typical of us, we're going to go ahead and proxy. I think at this point I'm enjoying the Reaper build so much that I'm probably going to do it again. There is a Zerg player. He does not scout the probe. He is this is a little bit non-typical to run. You can see this Overlord is kind of running down this way. So he will not even get to most Zergs will just kind of click basically towards the opponent's base because it's highly unlikely that anything would be able to kill you when you get there immediately. But he doesn't do that, and that's a little bit odd because you can see that while it's not like exactly right beside this scouting location, Jedi did a good job of getting out of the way. It was closer than usual. Now that zealot is not stuck there, right? That zealot is not stuck there. No, those zealots are not trapped. That's great. So those zealots kill off Kalawa's expansion, or they cause a cancel. Wow. There's Reaper. There are Reapers. But I have Reapers as well. And so, once again, I have an advantage in the Reaper play here. And we're pushing back their Reaper man. Now Kalawa's trying to expand across the map. And it's Reapers versus Zealots. My Reapers are down here. So I need to support my friend. His Zealots are going to get killed pretty quick. Where are my Reapers? Did they come? Did they come? So here's another Zealot death. Here's Reaper bombs versus Reaper bombs. Now, one thing that you're seeing is this was a 3-Rax Reaper out of Timmy Fish, and this was a 2-Rax expand 5-Rax Reaper out of me. So what that means is, let's leave the units tab up. So this is just where it is equalized, that I have 8 Reapers and my opponent has 8 Reapers, by the way. He just jumped up to 10 for a moment. But my Reapers, I jump up here for a moment, I'm going to get a few kills, that's good. But I do not have as many Reapers across the map as he does. And here, that is deadly for me. I did a terrible move jumping that Reaper. So now, I have 5 Reapers and he has 10 Reapers. Here's the thing. While basically he has an advantage at this moment producing off of 5 racks. Let's look at production for a moment. I'm producing 5 Reapers at a time and he's producing max 3. He's producing 2 at the moment. So as long as I stay by either photon cannons or zealots, I'm going to be okay. And that's what I'm going to do until I see that I have equal Reaper count to him. And I'm not going to stop producing Reapers until my partner Jedi has begun to transition to air, because I want one of us to have map control given the way this game has shaken out. So Timmy Fish is looking to move across and get some damage, but the key out of our force is to stay active, which we do. So we're down here trying to keep Kalawa from getting damage done. I'm sorry, not getting damage done, getting expansions up. And so I'm buffering these Reapers away so that Timmy Fish can't come and kill those Zealots. And I have 14 Reapers now to his 11. So I can stand and face him. And will I do that? Looks like I back up, he backs up. My Reapers are getting together. And I can stay within kind of like a safe distance, because if he tries to engage, those zealots, I can kind of count on them as one wall, and I might be able to catch my opponent's reapers in a bad situation, catch him between a rock and a hard place. So kill off those drones there. And now these zealots are going to come and kill off these spine crawlers. I'm going to come and assist. And really, there's not a lot of... this guy, Timmy Fish, could engage with his reapers, but I have more reapers now, so he can't engage. And we're keeping Kalawa from taking expansions, especially in any sort of secret spaces. And I can jump up here after the scan, and I can start doing damage on Timmy Fish. And then, when there's trouble, I can just get out. So I scan again because I anticipated he might be doing what he was doing there. Throw a few bombs up. Now here I see he's not producing reapers anymore. I have an advantage in terms of reapers. It's nearly the 7-minute mark. I don't want to get stuck on reaper tech forever, so I actually cancel all those reapers I had, and I am transitioning. I'm going to put a couple of tech labs down and plenty of reactors. Probably have started. Yep, there's a factory. I have a third command center going, and I still have plenty. I have a reaper advantage. I have 19 reapers to his 10, and I can just keep some map control with these for the time being. These reapers on the ground operate a lot like Phoenix in the air. I can take engagements. I can't take this engagement because of the tank. In fact, I lose 3 reapers there. But I can be careful with them and get some mileage out of them. I scan there because I want to see exactly what we're looking at. A couple of tanks and some reapers. I want to know exactly where they're positioned so I can know how far in I can move. Jedi does a great job with his zealots over here, finding yet another base. I think I'm probably considering jumping up in the back door here again. I will likely scan before I do that. I could send one Reaper up to his possible doom, but I scan. I see that tank sitting there. Not worth it. Don't want to do it. So what I'm going to do, send my little Reapers on a scouting mission. I'm going to hold this. Going to hold this sensor tower, or this Zelnaga tower for a minute. And go ahead and take my third. Get my barracks up. Get my factory. Get my starport. While Kalawa is taking 1, 2, 3, 4 more bases off of his one base situation. He wants to expand a lot, and that's a kill, so he did not cancel that. So I did kill that one, but you can see that I did not know about those other expansions. So I'm going to run up. I find Jedi does try to kill that tank, and I find he doesn't have an expansion there. Jedi picks up the queens for me so I can do some damage to the drones. This is a really bad game for Kalawa. Kill that queen. Kill the other queen. See all these units coming. Throw a few bombs down. I still have 15 Reapers. And this cannon is finally going down. And with that, Timmy Fish is going to take his third right here. And this is a very... for some reason, Jedi is throwing away those zealots there. And I'm going to go ahead and bring home these Reapers for a very non-traditional build, and that is Reaper drops. It's just, I had my medevacs out. Reapers are good harass units. I probably can't jump in too many places with them, so we're going to try to find somewhere for them to go. That is useful. Now, all these Reapers are also trying to make use of themselves. They see these Phoenix. These Phoenix could kill that Reaper pack easily, so he's going to try to run away. I'm going to send out this drop here. And Kalawa wants to expand. He has a few drones on each base. I don't think I spotted that. Let me see. Oh yeah, I could have spotted just a little bit of creep. But what I'm going for is backdoor attack. I can't do it. I rush over here. Bad idea. I'm trying to run away. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, we lost the hole. All those Reapers lost their lives. Hiding in the corner. Jedi comes in. He's doing some damage. Taking down plenty of SCVs and getting out, which is great. And then he runs away. Now he's going to come down here. Take down some more SCVs, which is great. Down to 40 SCVs for Timmy Fish. And he's moving out. He's got his third base. Here he's going to come over to the other side. And he accidentally finds a base here. So he's going to kill that queen. He's going to start killing drones. I believe he tells me here about these bases. So I send a medevac worth of Marauders. I find another base. So those Marauders will easily take care of that roach. Jedi is taking care of all of those drones with his 16 Phoenix. I have moved out my units to cover my fourth base. My Marauders are now taking down that base. Phoenix don't want to hang around there and fight against those spore crawlers, so I pick up those Marauders. Now, this is the best move that Timmy Fish probably could have done. He was nearly maxed. It's a late siege out of him. I do have a couple, maybe a siege tank or two there. He has more supply than me, but Jedi has a couple of carriers. He lifts up these tanks so I can get a fairly efficient trade out of my 2-2 army. Timmy Fish also has 2-2. I have my other army coming in down here, putting down my Liberators, putting down my other tank. These Marauders survive. It's kind of a surround that we have. The Liberators are cleaning up. With that, we're going to get a win out of this game, it looks like, as well. That was kind of their only hope. Happy little Marauder hit squad says, oh yeah, we were going to go kill this base. So they go down there to do that. While we're just macroing up over here on the other side. Marauder hit squad doing their job. This is a parade push without a parade. Just a few little guys that forgot their place in life and they're going back home. So with our carrier Phoenix Force plus bio army, we're going across the map. I'm producing 3 tanks at a time. The Marauder hit squad has done their job. They lost their medevac friend, but that's okay. They're going to rejoin everybody else and tell the stories about this day. The carrier force alone is probably enough to kill this Terran army. With the help of my force, we rush in, and they are dead. And that's it. Quite a few wins today. This is overall a really good session for us. Most of the games went our way today. And we enjoyed it. Alright, so that's going to be it for tonight. Thanks for tuning in, and we will catch you all later.